Welcome to Barricade Rides, videos for motorcycle enthusiasts. Got a great video for you today. I'm here with David at Emerald City Harley in Lynnwood, Washington, one of my favorite places. Today we're doing a video on the 2021 Harley Davidson Road Glide Special, and none other than the Snake Venom paint. So David's gonna give us a quick and intimate tour of this bike, and I hope you guys appreciate it. Please help us grow this channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. So let's get into it.
Well, thanks Barricade. Opportunity to do another video. Love it. So this is the 2021 Road Glide Special in the Snake Venom color. So it's a special color for this year. It's probably the most unique color I have seen yet on a Harley Davidson. There have been some really great colors, some really great color combinations, but this, for being a technically one color Snake Venom, you kind of get four colors in one. So the first thing you notice on this bike that really makes it stand out, when you walk around the bike, it changes from kind of an emerald green, hey, Emerald City, emerald green, to a purple, to kind of a dark blue. I even see some turquoise, just depends on the angle you're looking at. It is an unbelievable paint job. This is the kind of paint job that people would do on a car or a bike and pay a lot of money for. And this comes out of the factory with Harley Davidson quality paint, Harley Davidson quality clear coat. So really, really meticulously painted. And it's a real standout color. Very unique. The other thing I like about it is that along with the paint, on the front right corner and the left rear corner, you've got this Harley Davidson 1, right? That super nostalgic 1. Just gives a little splash of color. And same thing on the left rear saddlebags. You got it kind of trailing off the back end. So very, very unique, very, very custom looking. Fairly subtle, but it just gives it that little extra flair. And I really love the logo on the tank where it says custom paint. Harley's done that in the past. With different custom colors, but this is a really unique color. And it's funny because for a long time you couldn't sell green bikes. The legend has it that in World War II the United States or the Allies rode green bikes and the Germans rode gray bikes. So green bikes were considered bad luck because they were targeted. That's kind of gone away with several generations now since the war. Now green is actually a very popular color in motorcycles, and this is absolutely no exception. So anyway, enough about the paint. This is, at the core, an incredible machine. 2021 Road Glide Special. So special means you get the 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine. Great power, great torque, great acceleration, smooth, economical, just everything you want. With the Milwaukee 8, of course, it's the Milwaukee 8 because there are 8 valves in this engine, 4 per cylinder, so that's 2 intake, 2 exhaust. Everybody knows an engine is basically a giant air pump, so you're moving that much more air, you're getting that much more power. It's also a single cam. So Harley for about 30 years did a twin cam in their engines. Now they've gone back to the single cam. It gives great torque, great performance. It's also easier to balance because it's just one cam. So they've really smoothed these bikes out. You don't get that massive vibration when you're idling at a light anymore. It's really very smooth. You still feel the bike under you, which is nice, the way they balanced it. There's still a little bit of kind of a rumble to it, but a much more refined power plant than in previous generations. The other thing the special gives you is it gives you the stretch bags, which is partly, yes, a little bit more luggage space. What it really is, though, is the way it finishes off the back end of the bike, the way the saddlebags wrap around your exhaust tips. So it gives it that really nice, just a finished look, kind of a custom look. So anyway, very, very cool design. The other thing with the special is you get on this bike RDRS. So RDRS is Reflex Defensive Rider System. That is a whole suite of enhancements for the bike that make this bike safer to ride. What I like to say, people say, oh, I've been riding for years, I don't need all that stuff. Probably not. Probably won't ever need it. Hopefully you won't ever need it. But what if you do? Then you have it. You've got cornering ABS, you've got hill hold assist, you've got drag torque slip elimination, you've got tire pressure monitoring, the list goes on and on. So it's a really nice suite of safety enhancements on the bike that accompany the ABS that comes standard on this bike. So you got a lot of intelligence in this bike, and what I like to say is it makes really good riders even better riders. You kind of prepare for the unknown. So okay, so it's got 2-in-1 and a 2 exhaust. It's got the 6-speed transmission, which is standard now on all the big twins. Really nice note to the exhaust, even right out of the factory. It's got a nice low rumble to it. You've also got the dual compound touring tires. So these are Dunlop dual compound. Now what I mean by that is that these tires are formulated to have a softer shoulder and a little more rugged or higher density, longer lasting center to the tire. So these bikes, obviously when you're out running on the highway, most of the time you're pretty much straight up and down. That's where most of your wear goes on your tires. So because it is a more dense compound there, you get better life, but you don't have to sacrifice the traction for corners. So it's a pretty ingenious design. Twin disc brakes up front, single in the rear, ABS, of course, with RDRS. The other thing the special offers versus the standard are these low profile engine guards or highway bars. It just kind of gives the front end of the bike a little sleeker look. Again, a little bit more custom. You can still hang pegs off of it, foot pegs for highway riding. But you've got the protection, but they're not quite as bulky as you get on some of the other bikes. The other thing they did this year is they went away. All of the touring bikes last year had the gas fill kind of on the center cowling here. They trimmed that down, smoothed it out a little bit, went back to just a single gas fill on the right. And a gentleman came in the other day and he's like, I'm so glad they do that because I don't have to shake my bike around and get those air pockets. It fills really nicely all the way to the top because this is the high side when the bike is on the center stand. And I said, man, you get it. You get exactly why Harley did that. So some changes there. Of course, the special comes with the GTS Boom Audio infotainment system. If you don't know about this system, it is just phenomenal. Everything you could possibly want right at your fingertips. So you can, with your joysticks, you can hit the home button. That'll take you to your 3 main categories: your music, your navigation, and your phone. The navigation, just watch how quickly it pops up. Now this hasn't been booted up, but that's how quickly this comes up. Anybody that has the previous generation, they used to kind of waiting for 10-15 seconds for that map to populate. You got the pinch to zoom, right?
You can do that with gloves, right?
Yeah, and it's also, yeah, that's the thing. It's not a touch sensitive screen, it's a pressure sensitive screen is the way I put it, so that it does work with gloves. But anything you want to get to on the screen, you can also get to from your joysticks on your handlebars. So on this bike, when you're sitting on it, this fairing is mounted about 6 inches further forward than on the Street Glide. It's kind of cousin. What that does is it gives you a little extra space, a little more room here. It also puts your screen heads up right at the top of your fairing instead of at the bottom. But what it also means is that it's a little longer reach to your screen. So when you're stationary, you can lean forward or standing by the bike, no problem. But when you're underway, you've got these joysticks on either side and a couple of buttons that really help you navigate everything. The other thing is, if you press and hold the home button, it'll take you to a screen that shows you what these buttons would take you to. So for the longest time I thought, oh, it's too bad you can't get into those with your joystick, and then I found out you can. So this gives you stuff like your diagnostics on your engine, right? This gives you where you're headed. This gives you your information on your engine. When's the last time you had oil changed? It'll tell you whether EITMS is enabled or disabled. It'll also give you your tire pressure on the bike right on the screen, so you can check that as you're riding. And then your trip summary, so this is kind of where you've been. Really cool stuff. The other thing I love with the Harley navigation system, I love the fact that you can go up and hit this search button, and there's already things like the nearest gas stations are listed. Super easy to find. You've got also the same thing for places to grab a bite to eat or a place to sleep. Harley Davidson dealership, maybe you need an oil change or on a long trip. That'll show you exactly where the nearest Harley Davidson dealerships are. It'll also show you medical, police, and fire if you're in an emergency situation. So some nice safety features there. Absolutely love this boom audio system. The sound on these speakers on the Special is really good. It's just the 2 speakers up front, but they sound great. You can hear them over the sound of the engine when you're on the road. 6-gallon gas tank, so the range on these bikes, I know people that are going darn near 300 miles on a tank of gas. Now, of course, they're not getting into it real heavy. That's kind of out cruising on the highway, using your cruise control, economical riding. But you got a great amount of range. You could practically ride this bike from the Seattle area to Spokane without filling up. That's amazing. So really nice range. A couple other things about this bike that I really like. Of course, any bike that is post 2014 or 2014 or later is a Rushmore bike. And probably the biggest enhancement that I like are these one-touch bags. Now that I've been here for a year and I've seen people struggle with the clamshells that you open out here, they work, but these are just so easy. And let's say you got a water bottle in here, you come to a stop at a stoplight, and you can reach right back into your bag, grab your water bottle, get a drink, put it back in, all from a seated position. So super easy. The other thing we're doing as of 2021, we are adding the quick release hardware standard on our touring bikes. So now, if you want to take a passenger, you've already got the rear pillion, you can add a backrest, a back pad, you can add a luggage rack, you could even get a paint matched tour pack and stick it on this bike and essentially have a Road Glide Limited. I just love the Road Glide bikes. When I first started here, I was all about the Batwing. It had to be a Batwing. That's a Harley. I didn't really like the Road Glides that much, and a couple of guys that I work with here kind of challenged me and said, have you ridden the Road Glide? No, I haven't. Then I had a customer that came in that wanted to ride both, so we each took one and we swapped halfway in between. By the time I got back from that test ride, I was a Road Glide guy. And the big difference is in this fairing, frame mounted versus fork mounted. So when you're passing that truck on the highway and it's throwing a bunch of wind in your face as you're trying to get around them, on the Street Glide or on the Ultra with the Batwing, you tend to feel that a little bit in your handlebars. On this, you're just as solid as can be because all of those forces are going into the frame instead of into your handlebars. Another argument that people have against the Shark Nose is that the lights don't move with your handlebars. And that's true, which really only matters in a parking lot when you're actually steering the bike. Otherwise, when you're riding, you're leaning, right? So your lights are following the direction you're leaning on the bike. I rode one of these last week at night in the dark, and I couldn't believe the way the road was lit up in front of me. It's really impressive. No longer a concern of mine whatsoever. So I think Harley makes both bikes because they're both popular, and I am not here in any way to knock a Batwing. I'm just telling you what my experience has been. that I have become a real fan of this fairing just because I like the roominess, I like the heads-up display, and I like the fact that I feel like I'm never having to fight that wind when I get into a turbulent situation with a lot of wind coming at me. Does a great job of blocking the wind for you. You can get different height windshields for these bikes. The CVOs actually come with kind of a chopped windshield. You can also get a touring windshield that'll come up, about 12, 14 inches. So you can customize it the way you want, but man, just a phenomenal riding bike. So anyway, we got one of each. We have a Street Glide and a Road Glide right now in the Snake Venom. Come by and check them out. It's worth just checking out the paint, just to appreciate the quality that's gone into the finish on this bike. But it's pretty remarkable. We'd love to show them, either of them, to you. So come on by and check us out. We won't bite.
There you have it, the 2021 Harley Davidson Road Glide Special in Snake Venom. I hope you appreciate it as much as we do. This bike is absolutely beautiful. And as always, brothers and sisters,
stay safe
and ride your ride.